Get this, 30% of American families live in homes valued at $300,000, yet they only pull in an annual income of $60,000. I mean, how on earth is that even possible? How are so many families managing to live in houses they seemingly, well, just can't afford? It introduces us to this massive society-wide illusion of wealth. What we're often looking at as wealth, the big house, the shiny new cars, is frequently just debt, heavily disguised as success. Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to synthesize literally a century of the world's most influential personal finance literature. Why? To uncover the true documented path to financial independence. We've combed through the hard data, the ancient parables, and the modern step-by-step guides to build you the ultimate roadmap to real wealth. Because here's the thing, the core principles of building wealth, they're not modern flashy secrets. They've been rigorously documented across these absolute classic texts over the past 100 years, from The Richest Man in Babylon in 1926 all the way to the Total Money Makeover in 2003. We're looking at a profound, repeating pattern of financial truth that spans entire generations. To make sense of all this, we're going to take a structured journey through 4 key phases today: the wealth mindset, conquering debt and saving, strategies for intelligent investing, and finally, building generational wealth. Let's dive in. Starting off with phase 1, the wealth mindset, breaking the illusion. True wealth is not about projecting luxury. It's about fundamentally shifting your psychological approach to money. So, in the Millionaire Next Door, the authors categorize people into 2 very distinct camps. On one side, you've got the prodigious accumulator of wealth, or PA. These folks live well below their means. They focus on minimizing their taxable income and maximizing actual wealth. Then, on the flip side, we have the underaccumulator of wealth, the UAW. These are often high earners. We're talking doctors, lawyers, who are totally trapped in this cycle of endless consumption. They spend tomorrow's cash today. Why? Because they succumb to the better-than theory. They are constantly measuring their success by trying to match or beat their neighbors' lifestyles. They buy the depreciating new cars, the status symbols. They sacrifice actual wealth just for the appearance of it. So you're probably wondering, which one are you? Well, let's look at the net worth rule of thumb from the book. You simply take your age, multiply it by your realized pre-tax annual household income, and then divide that number by 10. That final figure, that's what your net worth actually should be right now. If you're sitting significantly below that number, you're an underaccumulator. It's a bit of a harsh reality check for sure, but it's absolutely crucial to know. Building on that mindset shift, let's look at Robert Kiyosaki's famous framework. He contrasts the poor dad mentality with the rich dad mentality. The poor dad path is the traditional one, right? You work hard all your life for an employer, trading your time for a paycheck, but never quite reaching true financial security. The rich dad mentality, though, is entirely different. It focuses on entrepreneurship, constantly leveling up your financial IQ, and most importantly, building wealth by acquiring assets and businesses that do the working for you. It's moving from an employee mindset to a builder mindset. Now, to truly understand this literature, we have to look at the whole picture objectively. Both Napoleon Hill and Robert Kiyosaki have achieved immense, blockbuster commercial success, selling tens of millions of copies. But they've also faced pretty heavy historical criticism regarding their factual claims. For instance, historians haven't found any evidence that Hill ever actually met Andrew Carnegie, the guy he claimed inspired his whole 13 steps to riches. Similarly, the real identity of Kiyosaki's rich dad was completely hidden for years, and critics have pointed out factual errors and vague advice in his work. We bring this up because while their foundational stories are heavily contested, the psychological frameworks they popularized still spread like wildfire and remain super influential. The big takeaway for this first phase is captured perfectly by Vicki Robin, co-author of Your Money or Your Life. Financial security is really about unhooking from toxic consumerism. When you stop chasing that illusion of wealth, the returns aren't just showing up in your bank account. They manifest in your health, your happiness, and your whole sense of purpose. Okay, now that we've got the mindset down, let's move into phase 2, conquering debt and saving, escaping the trap. 10%. This is the hard-hitting, absolute foundational rule introduced in George S. Clason's 1926 classic. It's incredibly simple, but totally transformative. Pay yourself first by saving a minimum of 10% of your income. Before you pay the bills, before you grab groceries, before you spend a single dime, 10% goes straight into your wealth-building bucket. Clason actually taught this rule through a 4,000-year-old parable about a guy named Arcad. Arcad was just a poor scribe in ancient Mesopotamia, but he became literally the wealthiest man in Babylon just by applying basic fundamental rules like the 7 cures for a lean purse. Arcad's story proves that living below your means and paying yourself first aren't some trendy new economic hacks. They're ancient, timeless laws of human prosperity. Fast forward to today, and we see these exact same principles put into action by Dave Ramsey in the Total Money Makeover. If you feel like you're drowning in the modern debt trap, Ramsey gives us these actionable baby steps. Step 1, quickly save up a $1,000 beginner emergency fund, just so minor setbacks don't push you further into the hole. Step 2, aggressively pay off all your debt using the debt snowball method. And step 3, once that debt is finally gone, save a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. That builds an absolute fortress around your finances. Let's zoom in on that debt snowball method for a second, because it's a real game changer. You list all your debts from the smallest balance to the largest. You pay the minimums on everything, but you take every single extra dollar you can scrape together and throw it at that smallest debt until it's wiped out. Then, and here's the magic, you take that whole payment amount and roll it into the next smallest debt. What's crucial to understand here is that this is about psychology, not just math. By knocking out these little debts quickly, you build the psychological momentum you need to stay disciplined and conquer the whole shebang. All right, the debt is cleared, your emergency fund is loaded up. Time to enter phase 3. Strategies for intelligent investing, playing the long game. To really get investing, we have to look at Benjamin Graham's 1949 masterpiece, The Intelligent Investor. Fun fact, Graham was actually Warren Buffett's mentor. He introduces this brilliant analogy called Mr. Market. Imagine this obliging, but honestly kind of irrational guy who knocks on your door every single day. He's always offering to buy your shares or sell you his, but at wildly different, completely emotion-driven prices. Some days, he's super optimistic. Other days, he's incredibly depressed. Graham's whole point is that an intelligent investor never lets Mr. Market's mood swings determine the value of their shares. You should profit from the market's craziness, not participate in it. So, how exactly do you profit from it? By using Graham's core tenets of value investing. You completely ignore the short-term trends and the daily stop price panic. Instead, you focus 100% on the long-term fundamentals of the actual business. You evaluate the management quality, the financial strength, the dividends, and you look to buy those stocks when Mr. Market is pricing them way below their real value. That creates your margin of safety. Because true wealth, it relies on evaluating real-world performance, not getting swept up in the hysteria of the crowd. Which brings us to our final phase. Phase 4, building generational wealth and leaving a legacy. Now, we actually need to start here with a massive warning sign identified in the Millionaire Next Door. It's called Economic Outpatient Care, or EOC. This is basically financial support given by wealthy parents to their adult kids. It sounds super generous, right? Well, actually, scratch that. The data shows it's incredibly destructive. EOC gives the recipients this totally false sense of security. They end up buying houses in upscale neighborhoods they definitely can't afford on their own salaries. In fact, adult children who receive regular EOC have a staggering 43% less net worth than their self-sufficient peers. It literally destroys their ability to generate their own wealth. And that leads to 2 drastically different paths of parenting. On one side, you have UW parenting, those under-accumulators of wealth. They model a high-consumption lifestyle, and their kids just absorb this extreme luxury. They grow up devout believers that they too must have all this stuff, even if their own income can't support it at all. It is a total recipe for disaster. Contrast that with Scott Pape's approach in The Barefoot Investor for families. He's all about raising hardworking, financially confident kids, not by just handing them cash, but through real-life money stories and fun little projects that literally take just minutes a week. It's teaching them the value of a buck the old-fashioned way. Wow, so we've covered a whole century of wisdom in this explainer today, from ancient Babylonian parables to modern debt snowballs. But I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to chew on. Take a really hard look at your own life and ask yourself, are you living a comfortable lifestyle when it comes to stuff? Or are you living a comfortable lifestyle when it comes to true financial security? Because as we've seen today, those 2 things are almost never the same. Thanks for hanging out with me on this one. Keep learning, keep questioning your mindset, and go start building that true financial independence.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. It means the world to me that you're here and part of this book-loving community. If you love this video, please hit the like button. It helps others find the channel. And don't forget to subscribe for more book discussions, deep dives, and all book things literature. I'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comment and connect. And if you know someone who'd love this content, please share it with them. Sharing is caring, and it's how our little community grows. Until next time, happy reading!